Hello, I am pleased to introduce a new book, The Hunt for the Green Lion, a historical novel with a clear purpose, to tell a human story from the Qatar world of southern France and to offer practical guidance for modern seekers. The book is built around Evelyn Underhill's insight. The raw stuff of indomitable human nature is the means by which a human being is to attain union with the Absolute. The duty of the alchemist, the transmuting process, is therefore described as the hunting of the green lion through the forest of the sensual world. That sentence is the key to everything you'll read, both the outer plot and the inner work. The story follows two people. Emily refuses to let her life be traded in a political marriage. Justin, trained for war, wants his strength to serve something higher than violence. They crossed paths with guides who helped them grow up spiritually, while the Albigensian Crusade and early Inquisition reshaped their world. As danger rises, they learn to direct their energy, speak truth without hatred, and choose the smallest faithful action when grand gestures would only feed the ego. In simple terms, they learn to hunt the green lion in themselves and turn raw power into clear, steady service. Why set this in the Qatar South? Because the Qatar left practices that still matter. They valued integrity, plain speech, and mercy. They read scripture in the local language, honored women as spiritual leaders, refused oaths, and tried to live non-violently. Their faith was practical. Tell the truth, keep your word, feed the hungry, protect the vulnerable, and do not let anger hire your voice. The novel shows these choices at street level so readers can see how they work. The book also honors Mary Magdalene. Eastern Christianity remembers her as equal to the apostles. Southern France keeps strong memories of her presence on the coast and at Saint-Baume. In these pages, her example is simple and usable. Remain when it's hard, speak when it's needed, and give what costs you something. That pattern guides the characters, and I hope the reader. If you are seeking a reliable path today, here is the value you'll find. First, a model of transformation. Unrefined energy, anger, fear, ambition can be trained and redirected into clarity and compassion. That is Underhill's transmuting process. Second, clear Qatar teachings presented without jargon, shared dignity, parage, refusal of hatred, and the sacrament of attentive presence. Third, a living portrait of the Magdalene's courage and fidelity that you can imitate in daily life. After the last chapter, you will find a substantial companion, Fire and Light, a Cathar Companion. It is written for application. It gathers the core of Qatar spirituality and places it alongside other trustworthy paths so you can build a daily practice. You'll find short teachings on watchfulness and inner stillness from ancient orthodoxy, practical tools from the fourth way, self-remembering, non-identification, and conscious effort. In a simple framework you can start immediately. A brief quiet each day, an honest naming of what you want, a one-breath offering of that desire to God, and one concrete helpful action for a nearby person. The companion also gives guidance for non-violent responses in ordinary conflicts. How to stand, how to speak briefly and clearly, and how to protect others without hatred. It includes short readings with 2 questions that keep faith practical. What does this make me love? Whom shall I help because of it? Everything is designed to be doable, not theoretical. In summary, The Hunt for the Green Lion offers 2 gifts: a story that makes history human and shows 2 people transforming at depth, and a practical guide that helps you do the same. Underhill's sentence says it best: your indomitable human spirit is not the enemy. It is the starting point. When you attend, discern, and act with integrity, that raw power is refined and becomes a pathway to God. I hope the novel engages your heart, and I hope the companion helps your life so that strength becomes clear, consciousness becomes love, and your days move closer to the One. I want to end this introduction with a word about the resource waiting for you at the back of the book. After the last page of the story and the companion essays, you will find an extensive glossary. More than definitions, it is a set of working tools. I wrote it for readers who are seekers, for those curious about the Qatar, and for anyone who wants clear, usable language for inner work. There you will meet the consolamentum, not only as a medieval rite, but as a living practice: presence, a hand laid gently, a prayer in the common tongue, how mercy can become a sacrament in any room. You will see Pahaj explained as the South's grammar of dignity across rank, and then translated into a habit you can try tomorrow. Treat opponents with courtesy and prefer repair to victory. Meliorament, the simple bow of respect, is shown as both social glue and spiritual training, a small movement of the body that makes space in the heart. The glossary also opens the inner school of attention. You will find nepsis, watchfulness from the Philokalia, spelled out in practical steps: notice, name, and return. Next to it stands the 4th way, and I explain why G.I. Gurdjieff called it a path for modern life, how it complements the traditional 3 ways of body, heart, and mind, and why Maurice Nicol's calm, humane commentaries matter so much today. You will learn what self-remembering and divided attention mean when you are answering a child, writing an email, or sitting in traffic, and how those small acts of presence change the tone of a day. For readers drawn to the alchemical thread, the glossary becomes a map. It clarifies the stages: nigredo, albedo, citrinas, rubedo, and shows how they appear in ordinary life as breakdown, clarity, wise action, and settled strength. It explains the operations separatio, calcinatio, solutio, coagulatio, sublimatio, and puts each one in the palm of your hand with a one-sentence exercise. The emblem of the green lion is unfolded with Evelyn Underhill's line at the center. Our raw, indomitable human nature is not an enemy to be crushed, but the very material that can be offered to God and transmuted into love. History and memory have their place there as well. Bogomils appear as the eastern stream that helped water Occitania, vernacular scripture, lay blessing, ethical courage. Montségur is set not as a legend only, but as a decision under pressure, refusal without hatred, prayer at the pyre. You'll find vitriol, visit the interior of the earth, translated into a daily practice of honest self-examination and the smallest faithful act. And Evelyn Underhill herself is introduced with a brief portrait and the works that shaped so many lives, mysticism, practical mysticism, so you can trace the source of the sentence that gave this book its heart. Why include such a glossary in a novel? Because the last thing I want is for this story to be only a moving memory. The Cathars did not build their lives on spectacle. They built them on clear words and steady deeds. The glossary is meant to give you the same clarity, short, reliable meanings linked to simple applications. It lets the reader who loves history understand what these people were actually doing. It lets the seeker who longs for God take one step today without waiting for a special place or a special mood. In the end, this book is an experiment in joining forms. Historical fiction can carry truth into the imagination where doctrine cannot reach. Spiritual instruction can give that truth hands and feet. By linking the teachings of the desert and the south to the needs of modern life, attention in a noisy world, mercy in polarized times, strong action without hatred, we honor the past and serve the present. My hope is that you will read the story for its beauty, use the companion for its guidance, and keep the glossary as a working friend. If those pieces meet in you, the result may be exactly what the Cathars and the mystics hoped for: a human life slowly transmuted, strength learning to rest in light, and a real encounter with the divine that changes how you live with others.